Welcome back to the Glint Standard. Today we're going to be talking about reputation management.
So,
a lot of people think of reviews, reputation management, same kind of context here, right? And really we're focusing more on online than offline. Yeah. Offline matters as well, but let's focus on online.
Yeah. So when it comes to reputation management, as you said, there's reviews, right, is a big portion of that. But I would even say, when you're looking at social media, right, there's social validation, and a lot of people will now even look at do they respond to comments that are left, right, and those kinds of things. Yeah. And if you're not, that has an effect on your reputation, right? If you're not responding to people that are not pleasant with your company right now, or not pleased with your company, right? I guess,
which is usually when you get a review.
Usually. But I think nowadays more and more people are they're going to go onto social media or Google or Yelp or all these different sites that are very popular, very well trafficked. I can't say that word, but
I'm not doing it for you. I don't think I can say it either.
It's a rough
traffic heavy. Let's go with that.
Yeah, they have a lot of traffic coming to them, and they're posting, right. Especially as you said, when they're not happy about it, not happy about their experience, not happy about anything, right?
Yeah, and the other side of it too, though, is they'll post if they're overly happy.
Yeah,
but mid-tone, middle board, not usually getting anything for that.
No. Usually those are the ones that they're like, 4 or 5 stars, and then I'm done, right? And they're not leaving any story behind it. Yeah. They're just sort of. Right?
You're welcome.
Yeah. And that's kind of been the unfortunate part as we started moving into this social validation and review type culture, right? And that's where we live today, right? You look at things like Uber, right? Well, I don't want a 3-star Uber driver. That sounds terrible, right?
What's that person like?
Yeah. Well, is he rude? Is he... I don't know what that means. There's a lot of ways that could go, so I don't know if I want that, right? Amazon's another one. They thrive on reviews.
They do,
right?
Yeah.
That's why I think reviews are so important to your business, but I think we've also had enough fake and spammy reviews.
Maybe not as bad as it used to be, but in the beginning it was horrible.
Right. And so we've learned as consumers, right? Now we go, just because they have 7,000 5-star reviews, maybe that's not legitimate.
Could be a little too far.
Yeah. Right. And so there's to a point where you can take it too far with reviews. But outside of that, I mean, really, as a business, especially as a B2C type company, it's very, very important to have reviews as part of your marketing strategy.
So how do you go about getting them?
Lots of different ways. Lots and lots of different ways. Biggest way, you just ask, right?
It amazes me how often that doesn't happen.
Yeah. You just ask, right? A good example, I mean, there's tons of different platforms, which we'll get into a little bit later, but just off the cuff, I mean, if you're a retail type client or a retail, I say client, but a retail company, then your point of sale operating system should be able to do that on their receipts, right? Was it a good or a bad? Even something as simple as that.
Simple as that's why it doesn't have to be super complex. And I think that's what people have to remember.
Yeah.
You have to be in the game though. This day and age.
It really depends on why you're getting reviews, right? And why you're getting reputation management software or programs or why? What's the important part? Is it purely feedback for your own company so that you can make adjustments and you can adjust the brand? You can do other things like making sure that certain things happen for you. Your employees are saying the right things. That if there was supposed to be a discount code, that it was given. All those kinds of things, right?
So how do you get them?
Yeah, well, I think it comes back to. I mean, there's a number of different ways to get them, right? There's a number of platforms that will do it for you. There's a number of, my mind immediately goes to retail. And I start thinking about, okay, in most retail businesses and companies that are out there, you have a point of sale, right? And so they may be able to do that for you.
Which can be a person. You say, hey, will you give me a review?
Yeah. The easiest way is just to ask, right? And you have to ask. That's the thing.
You do.
People aren't going to just leave you a review.
Please help me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the biggest ways to really get reviews is also to just try to figure out why you're doing it, right?
Not getting reviews just to get reviews.
Yeah.
You have to have a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it to get more sales? Is it to get feedback about your employees, right? Is it because it could be as simple as, did you have a good experience or a bad experience? It doesn't have to be on a scale of 1 to 5. Tell us how we did.
A little less complex.
Yeah.
Quick answer and you're done.
Yeah, and there's the age-old additive of is that right? No, but like
adage.
Yeah, is I was like, that didn't sound right, but it's keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can stick to that, where it's really easy for people to give you feedback, they're going to give you feedback. They're at least more likely to, rather than, can you fill out this 8-questionnaire about why we had a good experience?
Nobody really wants to do that. Unless you're unhappy, probably.
Yeah, and that's where we see the most reviews. Right?
Well, you talked about sales as one of your points.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it affect sales?
So in the world that we live in today, in the culture that we're in, right, we have social validation. So this is, you can see it a lot on some more landing page sales sites, but it's basically like, down in the bottom, it's Susie from California bought this, Tom from New York bought this, right? When you start to see more and more people are buying it, especially people that you actually know,
real people,
then you go, ooh, so this is a real thing, and man, it really is jumping off
or
the
your
shelf.
friend so and so and so and so and so
Absolutely.
and so really likes this site or has bought from here, and have a good review,
right? So you can have that. You can have, if you're going out to a restaurant, right, looking on Facebook and seeing who else likes it. What friends do I have that like it? Those kinds of things. You get that social validation, the check-ins on Facebook and Instagram, right? Those kinds of things.
Well, I think also you have 90% of sales are happen before they even go to the store.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking at reviews, people are making decisions right then and there. Am I going to buy here, or do I be bothered to go?
Right.
And that's why they become so important.
There's the amount of impulse buying that's happening now from consumers has significantly gone down, just because of the world that we live in, right? It's so connected. It's so easy to get information. Most people are decently good at research now, right?
Okay, so let's talk about monitoring and responding.
Oh,
because that's really a big piece of it.
Yeah, and I would say there's tons of platforms that can do it for you.
Okay.
And some are free, some are not. Some take it to the extreme where you can respond to people immediately, and some just monitor, right? And really grab all that information and bring it into one place for you.
So what are some of those platforms?
So Bird Eye is probably one of the more popular ones. There's Sign Up, which is spelled with a Y. Grade Us. There's Google Alerts. Mention. Podium is another one. And it really, all of them are good. There's Grade Us, I think, is another one. And honestly, there's a ton. And there's a absolute ton. Those are the ones that I can kind of think of off the top of my head, right?
Yeah, that are probably a good resource to start with.
Absolutely.
To go down that path.
Yeah, and if you're just looking for something to monitor when your business is mentioned in the news, or Google
Alerts is great for that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's what I was going to say. It's a free resource for everybody to use, and so it's a perfect place to start if you've never used any of those. I would say probably the most advanced out of that list is probably Podium, because you're able to monitor across multiple different channels, across not just review sites but social media, and you can respond directly in and also on your phone. They have an app for it. So I've heard mixed reviews about it in the marketing world, but it is a great place if you're very intentional about, I need to go get reviews, I need to monitor my reputation. It's a perfect platform for that.
Okay, so monitoring is one thing, right? How do you respond? Do you delete them?
Ooh.
If you get a bad one, I need 5 of my buddies to go in and give me 5 to drop it down to the bottom. Those are things that happen every day.
Every day. the best way to do it is keep it as organic as possible, because then you're not going to violate any terms and services with any of the platforms that you're on. The other thing to do is respond. Absolutely.
100% I agree.
Absolutely. You need to respond, right? It can be something to the extent of within the next 24 hours, I'm going to hide this comment because we don't feel that it adheres to our policies and procedures of our business, right? The only time that I would say downright go ahead and just block it, delete it, whatever, I would never say delete it, but hide it immediately is if it's something extremely offensive.
Profanity, things like that,
those kinds
not
of things.
Appropriate. Yeah.
If you're doing that, though, send the person a message, letting them know that's why you took it down. Give them the opportunity to respond in a more appropriate way.
Yeah.
Because if not, I guarantee you they will respond again going, this person
Why'd you
deleted
delete my post?
And that looks even worse. Even worse. So
yeah, I think the other side of it too is if you see reviews for companies and it's 5 stars across the board, if there's 5-6 reviews, it's probably not a big deal. There are thousands, it's a flag.
It's fishy, yeah.
There's not a person or a company out there that makes that many people happy every single time.
There isn't.
So I think part of responding is, even if it's 3 stars, if you go in there and the company is responding, like you mentioned before, they're engaged. They at least care about what they're doing. And if it's a consistent response that they keep getting, maybe they'll do something about it. And if not, that's going to be a challenge when you work with that company.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I would say is, I know our previous video we just did about branding, right? Come up with responses that match your brand voice.
That's a good point.
Right? Because it's very important that you don't lose your branding and just try to respond, right? Oh, I don't care what it is, just respond, right? No, keep your brand consistency, breathe for a minute, right? It's not the end of the world.
That does help, yeah.
But just respond in how you would feel that the brand needs to respond, right? That keeps with your brand voice, that keeps with that consistency, because that's one thing you don't want to lose.
Yeah, and I would say don't be 5 stars unless you're 5 stars. Don't pretend you're 5 stars if you're not, because that's that branding side. Because if you say you're 5 stars and everybody says you're 5 stars and they walk through that front door and you're not, those 5 stars are going away. And if they don't, something's going on. So, you can't have great reviews.
Yes.
At the end of the day, how do you feel like you deal with an unhappy customer online?
As I said, first keep your cool, right? Make sure that you do respond, and try to rectify the situation, right? I can tell you this, the monetary value that you get out of fixing a situation and showing to the public that you've helped or at least tried to fix that situation will greatly outweigh you not responding and letting that just continue.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So, awesome. Well, thank you guys. We'd love to hear if you have any additional platforms that you suggest.
I'd love to hear some of those nightmare reviews.
Oh, well, that'd be a good one too.
There are a few of those. You just can't make everybody happy.
And if you want to keep them private, you can email them to us, agency@theglintstandard.com. We'd love to read them. We promise not to share them unless you want us to. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. Also, if you have any other topics that you'd love to hear about, get our expert opinion on, we'd love to hear that as well. So agency@theglintstandard.com. Thank you so much.